Hello, YouTube. Mama, this ain't your mocha chocolate or your Margaritaville Keurig pod things. This is my coffee and my cup. Hope everybody had a great weekend and great day yesterday. And I don't expect everybody to watch all these daggone videos I'm putting out. I've been bored, so I've been putting videos out. Hope everybody's, kind of learning something too. I kind of do it. Yesterday's videos was as much for me as it is for you guys, because I usually keep my chains and stuff in order. I mean, and I know this is a rambling blog, but I don't want to ramble. Honestly, I love talking chainsaws. I love running saws, but I get tired of talking saws because I say the same things over and over and over. So, I'd like to help people out, but there's a lot of people just don't want help. They want help, but then they hear it and they don't want help. So, but anyway, like I said, there's a lot of people out here in this world, especially YouTube, that they don't ever get off the couches, and they've never really done what we do. A lot of us do or have done. Big Al, Nate. There's a lot of people. Lead just way different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? But some people do it for hobbies or the occasional. But it's a way of life for me. Has been. I can't remember a time that I wasn't in the woods running chainsaws. I wouldn't. There's never a time that it wasn't like a huge part of my life and my income. It's always been just what I do. And I post that thing on the Carlton on there. And the thing is, like I said, I've been to several classes. And whenever you have those classes, which I said in the vlog, and I'm going to say it again, whenever you go to these classes, because one of them, the first one I went to is whenever I worked for Aspen, and the class was a forestry class. The forestry service come in there and gave us a class, and pretty much everything. And it's good to be affirmed on your information. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody on here and everybody around the world, they've learned from somewhere, whether they've been told or read it. But the training that I've had, we had little pamphlets and stuff like that, but I never knew for sure. It's kind of like the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bible is concrete to me. The Bible is unwavering information, facts that people can tell me things about the Bible, but and I may or may not believe it, but whenever I read it, I know for sure. There's no way to change it. So whenever you're being taught this in the class by this man up here, you don't know if it's his opinion or facts. Everything makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Everything he's saying makes 100% sense as he explains it. But I didn't know where he was getting his information until the other day whenever I started really digging. And I went to Oregon websites and Steel, Husqvarna, and all these different websites, and everything was the same. Everybody's information is the same. You know what I'm saying? So the science and theory behind this chain is for everybody, and then apparently there was regulations on chainsaws, like if it's under 3 point something cubic inches, which is 60 cc's, they have to have anti-kickback chains. So then they developed the anti-kickback chains and all this stuff, and it's all on the internet, which I'm not one of them Googler guys. I don't Google stuff a lot. I don't get on there and Google how to do this, how to do that. I've never done that. So thanks, Big Al and Nate. You guys kind of Big Al by kind of getting me to look, and Nate by not looking before me. So, but anyway, I'm not one to look around the internet for information and stuff like that, you know. But it was nice to just to be like to see where the information come from. I really enjoyed it, and it was great for me. Some people just like Big Al's been doing it for a long time. Probably, I don't know how old you are, Big Al, but I kind of watch your videos. But looks like you've been doing it way longer than I've been alive. So and there's people that's been doing it that long, and the things just work for them, and that's what I'm saying. And it's been like that for me for the longest. But I've seen, like I said before, whenever I do something, I see what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I've never been the one just go through the motions of anything in my life. I've always questioned things. You know what I mean? Like, why am I doing this? I guess that's why I've succeeded so much in life, is because I've never been one to just settle. I've always. Don't get me wrong. I'm competitive like everybody else. I mean, there's some people who don't give. There's some people who don't care whether they win or lose or any of that stuff. Like a sloth. They just ball. You know what I'm saying? They don't really care. But me, I'm not. I've never been that way. I've always, if I was playing sports, I always wanted to be the best. In the military, I always wanted to be the best. I want to be the standard for everything. And I've always been that way. I don't know why. I guess maybe because I grew up so, even though we was in the logging business, we was poor. We was poor. We lived so old-fashioned, for one. Well, my daddy, I don't see how much time I got. 7 minutes. I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 minutes of backstory. My daddy was way, way older than I am. He was in his 40s, you know what I'm saying, whenever I was just a little baby. So whenever I was 12 or 13, my dad was on his way out of the business. Because I'd been around it ever since I was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like my boys are now. I was always in it and around it. But my daddy was on his way out whenever I was really starting to learn. And my grandpa died whenever I was only 11. So that influence right there was gone. And then my daddy pretty much started doing it. And I was probably 15 or 16, but whenever he stopped doing it. And that's whenever I went to work for Aspen. And I've always logged for myself all my life. I've never not logged. I've always found there's always little tracts of timber, 10 acres, 5 acres, 15 acres, and that you can make, $6,000-7,000 in a couple weeks, logging. You can buy a stand of timber or do it on halves or 60/40s. But anyway, and that's kind of how it was, because I had to start doing it for myself really young, because my dad's health. It wasn't because my dad was a lot like me, never asked nobody for nothing. The government, his problems was his. He didn't want to put his. This is what I love about my father. This is what I miss so much about him, and makes me sick about the whole world. His problems was his. He didn't want the rest of the community or America that was working for a living to support their family to have to take care of him too. So we did without. We slaughtered our own pigs, just like I'm living now, except for we was dirt poor. We skirted through life. I worked from a very young age. There's an industry around here. It's hauling rock, which is fieldstone, which I'm in the mountains of Tennessee. You look inside a log cabin, you see these big, nice rock fireplaces. Well, where's that rock come from? Most likely mountains of Tennessee. There's rock everywhere, but Tennessee fieldstone is one of the major. It's back in the 80s and 90s, is $1 million business. you can go out there in a couple hours and make $400 or $500 with a pickup truck. You know, you just you gotta have a strong back and run that rock up the mountains. I mean, you'd fill 5-gallon buckets with a little bitty thin stack, nice pretty rock that, you know, when you stacked it up. You know, look up Google fireplaces and you'll see. Google. And you'll see the kind of the rock that we got, and then a lot of us would we would get the fieldstone and would sell it, or we would lay the rock too. We would build the flower beds for the landscaping, or we would build the fireplaces and mantles and all this stuff. So, you know, like when I was 13 or 14, I'd get off my bus at these big rock yards, and people would bring rock in there and dump it. So I would take the rock and sort it and put it on pallets and stack it. So they'd pay me $10 a pallet to stack it. Well, I could, you know, by dark I could palletize 3 or 4 pallets, so I was making $30, $40 a day. And this is in like 92, 91, 92, something like that. So I was working as a young man to buy my own clothes and kind of help out around the house. And my dad had a lot of health issues, like I'm saying. Well, he finally got through the VA because he was in Vietnam. He ended up getting some help through the VA and getting his health straightened out. You know, and whenever I was 16 or 17, he got him a factory job and worked there till the day he died with cancer. You know, I mean, amazing man, and I miss him so much. He's been gone 10 years now, 11 years. Just amazing, guys. I promise you, he's a blessing to know, and he made me who I am and how I am and what I am and all those things. And every little ounce of character I got, I look at myself every day to be the man that's going to make him proud, you know. Because I look at myself, I don't care. I look at myself, I don't care what anybody else thinks about me. Whenever I look at myself, I want to know that I'm true to myself, and like I said the other day, my values and my beliefs and my standards, and there's nobody in this world gonna make me waver from who I am or what I am. It's just not gonna happen. And when God is, don't get me wrong, I'm not pushing my religion on nobody, but God is my core. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I am really is love and charity and you know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, be who you are, stick with your values and your all this stuff, and I mean, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And I'm not talking about buying yourself this stuff. I mean, you got to love who you are and what you stand for. I mean, everybody needs to examine themselves. That's what's wrong with this world, this country. This country is such a mess because of greed, and greed is huge. It's a huge part with people not having a self. You know what I'm saying now? Because people who are greedy are liars or thieves. They're deceptive people. So, you know, you can't be true to yourself if you're lying to yourself all the time. Drugs. People that are addicted to drugs, everybody you talk to that is addicted to drugs, they're not on drugs and they're not doing drugs or whatever. And they didn't take this or that from your house, you know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, love everybody. If anybody needs me, find me. Look me up or something. Mama, I love you, woman. Let me know what you might want for supper. I should have got a roast out last night to let it thaw. I'll figure something out. If you don't, let me know. All right, everybody have a great day, and I may try to get a video out for everybody. Oh, wow, 14, 15-minute vlog. Everybody, be true to yourselves. You got to stand for something. See you guys.